God save the King!
Very good. Won't forget this day in a hurry. 29th of August 1914. There you all enlisted. 10th Battalion of the Royal Fusiliers. These are all the new recruits.
They are, sir, although I fear one or two tourists may have got mixed up amongst them. But do not worry, we will weed them out when we march down to the moat to be sworn in for the Lord Mayor's son.
Very good.
Well, that's what all those men were doing in the ditch then outside the tower. They are recruits, are they? All in their straw voters and their suits. They look more like a battalion of stockbrokers than of soldiers.
Well, that's because they are, madam. Now, please forgive me, for I have words of encouragement to deliver to these fine young men. Although, I suppose I have a few moments to inform you of what has gone on, as you've been so patient, madam. For yes, this is all the work of my good friend and hero of the Boer War, Major Robert White, who's undertaken the great task of raising the battalion of the Royal Fusiliers, the stockbrokers battalion from the City of London. It's all part of Lord Kitchener's great plan and done at the instruction of the Director of Recruitment, Sir Henry Rawlinson. Well, Sir Henry wrote to me on August the 9th of this year, telling me that Lord Kitchener was most mindful to increase the numbers of the London regiment, namely the Royal Fusiliers, and he was aware of an appetite amongst these young men in the city to enlist in the British Army, provided they could have assurances they could serve alongside their friends. Now, this has been their endeavour, and we have delivered on this. Now, for my speech. Very well, Sergeant. I must get on.
It is just to tell the new recruits that we have found forming these PALS regiments will make you better fighting men. It is better to be fighting shoulder to shoulder with your mates than with a complete stranger.
Yes, very good. Yes, thank you, Sergeant. Yes, it's also very reassuring for the young men to know they are serving alongside men of a similar quality. Now, let us get on.
Quality?
Oh, yes, me, madam, please.
Quality? Let us not mince our words, sir. By quality, you mean class. And what position does class have in a time of war? Or indeed any time? Every recruitment office I have seen nationwide has been besieged by men of all walks of life wishing to sign up.
Well, lucky for us, madam, we're in a castle, eh? Hey, Sergeant, castle. The lady said besieged. They are synonymous terms. Don't forget it. Let us carry on.
And what of the women?
What of the women,
What
madam?
of the women? What will become of them if we are to go to war?
Well, madam, perhaps if I answer this question, you can be on your way, for there is much for the women to do. You can join the voluntary aid detachment, you can join the remount service, or the Women's Land Army. Plenty for the women to do, madam.
Yes, I've got plenty to do also, sir.
Good.
But for now, I would ask you this. I did not mean what will become of the women, how can they serve? I meant, what will become of the women who are left behind? For every man here who goes off to fight this European war, they will leave a job vacant. And those jobs need to be done. And they will be done by women. And the women will be paid far less than the men to do the same job. So therefore, somebody stands to profit from this war, and it is certainly not the people of Britain.
Madam, allow me to disabuse you of this notion. You are somewhat confused. In fact, I would say you are wrong. For Major White went to many of these firms in the city, discussed with great length the importance of encouraging the young men to enlist in the British Army, and furthermore to keep their jobs open for when they return, and in certain cases to pay them a bonus as an added incentive. This afforded the Major the opportunity to open up his offices in Throgmorton Street to these young recruits, men, the 10th Battalion of the Royal Fusiliers, men who will be sworn in today, 29th of August 1914, here at the Tower of London, in the dry ditch.
Excuse me, sir, please.
Oh, what is it? Pardon, interruptions, what is it?
Sorry, I beg you listen to me. Now, my name is Roland Mountford. I work with the Prudential in the city. I am a stockbroker too, but Unfortunately, I arrived too late and was refused to be able to enlist. But ever since the London Stock Exchange closed, the city is dead. There is no work for young men like me. Now, I have read in the newspapers, as have many of these people here, I'm sure, of the Battle of Mons, where the British Expeditionary Force was pushed back almost 100 miles by a much larger German army. They took such horrendous casualties, sir. Casualties they cannot be expected to take unless men like me are allowed to sign up and do their part, sir.
That is defeat this sword. Come over there, no more of it. You speak as if Battle of Mons was a defeat. It was not. Battle of Mons was a fine example of a strategic withdrawal. The British Army fell back in a regular fashion on account of the French collapsing on the right flank. Yet, such was the skill of our riflemen that the Germans thought they were under machine gun fire. Let's have no more talk of defeat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sergeant.
I apologise. I meant no disrespect. All I ask is a chance for me to join this struggle. Now, you said you're looking for people who are bonded by friendship. Well, today, my best friend has joined the 10th Royal Fusiliers.
What is your friend's name, sir?
Ernest Pickering.
Pickering. We have an Ernest Pickering, Sergeant.
We do, sir. Ernest Pickering, number 791. He stood right in front of you there, sir, with dark glasses.
Oh, Pickering. You know this man.
Hey, come now, Ernest. Hey, speak up. Oh, Ernest, he's always joking, you see, sir.
He says that you are his best friend, sir.
Yes. Oh, Ernest. Part of the jokes we always share.
Jokes that you share, indeed. Now, of course, whilst I can accommodate you, Pickering, I cannot accommodate you, Mountford. This fellow got up early. He got himself here. He enlisted. Let this be a lesson to you. However, whilst this battalion is full to its capacity, it doesn't mean there isn't need elsewhere. Why not try signing up for one of the other battalions, or indeed signing up as an officer? You see you are well turned out, well educated, possessed of a certain insubordinate quality that would make you perfect, in my view.
To become an officer would take too long, sir. Now, I know that the British economy, it cannot stand up to a long war. The whole thing would be over before I qualified and got my chance.
Look, there is nothing I can do. I'm sorry, you must be on your way. Now, for my speech of encouragement.
There might be something, sir.
What is it, son?
I've just been going through the registry and I found I may have made a small clerical mistake, sir.
Very unlikely, son. What do you mean?
Well, sir, as you know, these volunteers have to swear that they are of a certain age, 17 being the minimum. I'm afraid that Alfred Joseph Shakeshaft, who is stood in front of me here, may have lied about his age. Are you truly 17, young Lars Shakeshaft? He does not know, sir. I think not only is he not 17, I don't think he's a stockbroker either, sir.
Well, Shakespeare, although you told a small fib, you are to be commended for your courage. Maybe next year, perhaps. But it would seem there is a position vacant, Mountford.
Wonderful, thank you, sir.
Uniform.
So we have some battle dress in the tent, sir.
Oh, wonderful, thank you. Thanks a lot, Ernest.
Now, for my speech of encouragement, finally, unless anyone else has anything else to add, I would say this. Men, I look about me, and my chest swells with pride, for I see men of purpose, men of courage, men of endeavour, men who know what they are fighting for.
Yes, and
Men-
what are they fighting for, sir?
I beg your pardon, madam.
What are they fighting for? See, you would have us believe that absolutely everyone in Britain is entirely behind this war, and yet we know, for I've seen some of you on marches, that we are not. 100,000 people in Trafalgar Square alone marched in protest against this war, alongside others nationwide. A cabinet minister, John Burnham, signed over the matter, so clearly he does not support it. So I ask you once again, what are we fighting for?
Allow me to alleviate your confusion, madam, and in certain cases your ignorance. Sergeant, will you assist? Madam. So, as you should all be aware, in reading the newspapers, the Austro-Hungarian Empire has declared war upon Serbia. The Austro-Hungarian have strong allies with the German Empire. The German Empire has subsequently declared war upon the Russian Empire and on France. In order to advance upon France, they have crossed over the border into Belgium. Belgium is a neutral territory in accordance with the Treaty of London. Britain are honour bound to protect their neutrality. Britain must stand by its duty. Thank you, Sergeant.
So we are going to war over a scrap of paper that is 70 years old.
Madam, it is much more than a scrap of paper. This is about honour. This is about principle. This is about protecting the weak. Goodness me, you would not walk down the street and see a building on fire with a child screaming from the uppermost window. You simply walk on by, musing upon the danger, madam. No, no, you would go in and help, surely.
Of course I would go in and help. But Britain stands by while its views suffer daily. I work in the families 8 or 9 strong, living in 1 or 2 rooms with no sanitation and no running water. People are starving. This war has already pushed food prices up and it will continue to do so. You would have the men fight for a country that does not fight for them. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't need English for help. Can I ask you all to raise your hands in the air, please? Raise your hands. Everyone? Very good. Now, if you are a woman, place your hand down. Well, you do not have the words, so there is no point in putting it down. If you are under 30, put your hand down. Hand down. If you are under 30, very good. And if you are not rich, put your hand down. Well, no one has admitted to it, but the point is, it is only the few in this country, the rich men, that have any say in how it is run. Therefore, would you really go and fight for a country that does not fight for you?
Madam, I find your lack of passion as confusing as I can quiet it.
I do not think, sir, that my mind is question. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sylvia Pankhurst.
Pankhurst, madam. Oh, we have no time for your suffragettes here, madam. Take them elsewhere. We have much to do.
I usually have that sort of reception, and I can understand why, but trust me, I'm not here this day to protest or to cause trouble. I'm here to make a point, and that is that this war will see the people of England, the people of Britain suffer a great deal. As you well know, my mother, Emmeline, and my sister, Christabel, they have said that they will hang up their quarrel and the suffragette movement, they will cease whilst the war is continuing. I cannot stand by and allow this war to continue without saying anything, without fighting for the people of Britain for fair pay, to look after its people.
And madam, surely there comes a point where everyone must put aside their own political endeavours and simply support their country.
I do understand, sir, your point, but my point is that I'm not saying we should do nothing, but merely that there is a great many patriotic arguments that could be put forward in a declaration of war, is there not? And it is not the people of Britain that will benefit from it, but rather the wealthy financiers, profiteering. Those are the people who will benefit. I cannot see point in it, sir.
Madam, allow me to remind you of the words used by the Prime Minister himself when he declared war on Germany. Well, he stated quite clearly that this conflict would in time come to dwarf all other matters. Now, I cannot impress upon you more greatly, madam, the need for us to continue to, well, encourage young men to enlist in the army. Even though this battalion has reached its maximum capacity, there is great need elsewhere. We face mighty numbers in the German forces, madam. Any idea the number of infantry divisions the German army possesses compared to that of Britain, madam? Do you?
I confess I do not.
Well, let me tell you, the German army has 87 infantry divisions compared to merely 6 of the British army. 87 compared to 6, madam. The Kaiser believes that we are possessed of a contemptible little army. We must prove otherwise.
Very well, sir, fear not. It is quality, not quantity, sir. This war will be bloody, but brief, over by Christmas.
Well, let us hope so. Now, fine.
I've heard that said a great many times, but I've also heard it said that there is no possibility of this being a short conflict. And if it is to be a long one, then the people of Britain will continue to suffer. And meanwhile, all of the issues that we have discussed for many years, the votes for women, for example, home rule in Ireland, fair and equal pay, all of these will be whatever, and that is something I cannot support. Gentlemen who are signing up, I do not have a quarrel with you. I think you're very brave. And I will continue my fight to fight for all of the things we have fought for these many years. But I cannot support the war.
Well, madam, I wish you well with your endeavours, provided they do not conflict with our own. Now, you have alluded to this financial burden. Let me assure you of something, madam. For whilst it is vulgar for a man to boast of his charitable donations, I myself have reached into my own pocket to finance this battalion, as have many of the firms of the city. This is a financial burden that we will shoulder together. Financial burden, madam, I might add, has been placed upon us not by our own actions, but by the actions of other nations.
Sir, I didn't know what to do with these bandages.
Private Mountford, those are not bandages, they are putties. They go around your legs.
Oh, right.
But that will all be explained at basic training at Colchester. For the time being, Private Mountford, you will take this marching kit. You will stand up straight. You will put your shoulders back, because you're now in the army.
Oh, well, thank you very much, sir.
We're not conducting a business transaction, Private Mountford. You do not shake my hand, and you do not call me sir. He is sir, I am sergeant. Now get down to the ditch with the others where you belong.
Certainly, Sergeant. And thank you very much.
And you do not address an officer unless he addresses you first. Now move it, you slovenly soldier.
The Stockbrokers Battalion will march from here to Colchester, where they will begin their training before going off to fight. They'll be sworn in here at the Tower of London in the Dry Ditch. Thereafter, they will be affectionately known as the Ditchers. I encourage you all, before you leave the Tower this day, go past the Dry Ditch, look down into it, and think of all those men who will swear their oaths before going off to fight, before going off to serve their country. It's all God save the King.
God save the King.
A little better than that, I think. God save the King.
God save the King.
Sergeant, dismiss.
Battalion Royal Fusiliers, dismissed.